fish report. Don't need no bait, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the fish report, hanging at the fish report, hanging at the fish report. You got Craig and TK and Head that deep tuned in at the fish report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Versailles, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Welcome, everyone, to another Fish Report Live. I'm Craig Fissinger. That's Ken Francis. We're your co-host. Back in our sound room tonight, we've got TK back there with a little help tonight, Ken, from Ross, who's actually been a part of this show for the last 6 seasons.
He's been around pretty much, Craig, since we've all started. I remember him on show 1 as well. He was a little bit smaller back then, but appreciate your help back there, Ross. He really knows what he's doing, and he had a big day yesterday because it was his birthday, wasn't it?
Absolutely did.
Big birthday boy yesterday, turned 12 years old, Craig, and he's a big fan of mine, a big Buckeye fan, big Reds fan, and a big Cleveland Browns fan. So
we're happy.
Most importantly, a Dayton Flyer fan. Ain't that right, Ross?
He roots for all them teams. Happy to have him
and the Cavs.
And the Cavs. Happy to have him back there tonight, Ken. And 12 years old. I hope we aren't violating any child labor laws back here.
No, so he's protected back here by TK. He should be good.
All right. Well, listen. We've been talking fall sports here for the last month, and this week it's finally starting to feel like fall, isn't it?
Yes, it is, Craig. It's kind of neat to see the fall weather come upon us, and at least the cross-country runners won't be out there running in 90-degree heat, and the football players won't be sweating and having heat exhaustion out there on the football field. So it's a nice welcome relief, and kind of a wet, soggy day out there today, but I guess we'll take the cooler temperatures that go with it.
Yeah, you kind of understand after temperatures like this week, you kind of understand why golfers start at the beginning of August and why sectional tournament play has already rolled around. Speaking of that, we're going to be talking some sectional golf tonight, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, Craig. Really looking forward to a big interview we got tonight, Craig, with longtime Versailles golf coach, head coach of the Versailles Tigers, Pete DiSalvo. He's got his Versailles boys golf team playing very well right now. He's in his 36th season as the head coach of the Tigers. He's got a MAC championship this year, Craig, and we'll find out about his team tonight and his lead golfer, and also how his districts went tonight. Craig, and we're also going to be talking some football, Craig, and we're going over the GWAC. We always like to talk some GWAC football occasionally, and none better to talk to than Craig Adam Doenges, the 6th-year head coach of the Sidney Yellow Jackets. He's had some tough luck this year, Craig. He's battled some injuries, but he's got his Yellow Jackets playing great football right now. And, really looking forward to talking to Coach Doenges, see what's, sparking his team this year. And, Craig, he's got a great running back over there and one Isaiah Bowser, and we're going to hear a lot about him tonight.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to that, Ken. We talked to him actually last year a little bit. Looking forward to talking to him again this season. But before we get to all that, just like we do every week, we have our weekly poll question, and tonight's poll question has to do about that big game that they're playing Thursday night, as well as some other games.
Yes, it does, Craig. We're going to ask our viewers tonight, which of these football games do you feel is the most exciting and the biggest football game of the weekend? Is it the Thursday night special, the Sidney Yellow Jackets and the Piqua Indians playing each other, which I think is a great thing for the atmosphere over there at Sidney High School, a Thursday night football game? Versailles versus Fort Recovery, Minster versus St. Henry, or is it Lehman versus Riverside?
Kind of appealing to all our viewers out there tonight that may be watching us over there in GWAC country and some other spots. Don't have tonight's poll question to show our viewers there, but as Ken just read it there, and if you're watching us on the Fish Report Live page, you can scroll down to see that poll question, answer that question, check the results out. If you're watching us on NK Telco or Game Face Ohio, TK is going to have those results for you at the end of the show. All right, Ken, well, let's get things started talking some golf. And tonight, actually, the girls were in action. D2 girls were in action. Let's check out the local girls and see what happened exactly there.
Yes, Craig, at Versailles Stillwater Golf Club, Craig, tonight the Division II Girls Sectional Championship was held. The championship team there, the Versailles Tigers, shot a 373. The Chieftains from Bell Fountain came in at second place, followed by third place, the Shelby County League Fort Loramie Redskins, and fourth place, the Arcanum Trojans. Those top 4 teams advanced to the district next week, which will be played on Pipestone Golf Course in Miamisburg. And from there, Craig, the top 3 teams and the top 3 individuals not on qualifying teams will advance to the state meet.
Yeah, of course, we do want to say what a great season Maddie Borchers had, a local girl that we actually had on this show earlier this season. She just missed out, didn't she, Ken?
Yes, she did, Craig. She finished 5th. The top 4 advance. Maddie from Russia shot a 96. Like you said, had a great career for Coach Doherty. So congratulations to Maddie Borchers.
All right, and of course, we want to check out the D3 boys. The local boys teed off last night in their sectional play, and let's see what happened there.
Craig, they played at Beechwood Golf Course over in Arcanum. The Mechanicsburg Indians shot a 341. And then 3 teams from Shelby County, Craig, showing again the strength that the Shelby County League and the Shelby County in general has in golf. The Fort Loramie Redskins, the Fairlawn Jets, and the Lehman Cavaliers finished 2, 3, and 4. On an individual basis, Craig, Josh Miller from Botkins, he'll be advancing. He carded in 81.
All right, and that leaves us with the D2 boys. These guys teed off tonight, and here to talk about that with us live right now is the head coach of the Versailles Tigers, Pete DiSalvo. Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Craig and Ken. Nice to be with you.
Well, listen, we understand you guys teed off tonight, but did you finish? That's the question. I'm hearing rumors that you may have only played half the holes you're supposed to.
Well, it was a long day. We actually only got 9 holes in. We had an hour-and-a-half thunderstorm delay this morning, so we got started about 11 with a shotgun start. We got in about 9 holes, and thunderstorm came again, and they called a tournament. So we're going back tomorrow, and hopefully we'll finish tomorrow where we left off today.
I want to get your thoughts on playing those 9 holes, Coach. I talked to one of the parents from the girls' match over there at Stillwater tonight, and they were a little upset with the course conditions and the rain, and actually referred to some of the conditions as rivers running through the greens. How are your greens, or how are your fairways today?
Well, it rained the whole time. It's a shame when something like this happens, but the tournament has to be run, and if you don't get thunder or lightning, you're going to play. And I've been around long enough and been through things like that it's actually, even for everybody, unfortunately, you have to play through it. Well, when we got thunder and lightning, that of course ended us. But as long as it's just raining, they're going to have you play, because it's hard to get these things rescheduled.
Hi, Coach. This is Ken Francis, and I want to talk a little bit about your team. You got a lot of talented golfers here. One in particular, the MAC Player of the Year, and that's senior Nicholas Litton Stonebreaker. A phenomenal golfer. He's had a great year. He's really improved throughout the season. Tell us a little bit about Nicholas. What makes him so good, and what makes him just such a prize player to coach?
Well, Nicholas got a great all-around game. If I had to say he had a weakness, I'd probably say it was his putting, because when he puts well, he really plays well. I think probably his biggest improvement this year is in his mental game. Last year, if he made a mistake, it might affect him for a few shots. This year, he forgets about it right away, and I think that's his biggest improvement this year, and it shows in his scores.
Coach, is he planning on continuing his golf career in college, or has he not made that decision yet?
He'd like to. We've been looking at a few schools, sending out a few letters on that. I definitely think that he has the tools. He's a hard worker, and I don't think he's going to get anything but better.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about that Big Mac championship. Whenever you can win the league in the MAC, a lot of sports, a lot of coaches say, hey, it's tougher to win the MAC than it is to win the state, okay? Not sure if it's that way in golf or not. Maybe it is. But let's talk a little bit about your team. That's got to be a huge accomplishment for the Tigers. You came into the season pretty young. You thought you were inexperienced, and as the season went on, you could improve and possibly challenge for a MAC championship. Explain how the team improved throughout the year, how the league went, and what other golfers really stepped up for the Tigers.
Well, when we first started, I was talking to a reporter, and I told him this might be a really long year, because we only had 2 players back that had any experience, Nicholas and Kyle Cotner. So we had 2 seniors that came out this year for the first time, and as the season went on, they got better and better, and they really came to the top when we played St. Henry. Isaac Riedenkamp, senior, of course, he shot 37, and Alex Groff shot 39, and I thought really that was a change in our season right there. And then we got to the MAC, and Alex Groff shoots 78 and finishes third, and jumps all the way up to first team. So with those two guys, along with Kyle and Nicholas, Nicholas and Kyle and Alex made first team all league, and Isaac makes second team, and of course Nicholas is player of the year. So with that, with 4 players on there and an all MAC player of the year, it's been a while since we've had a team like that.
All right, and Coach, just to confirm again, you actually will play the remainder of your sectional match. Is that on Thursday? Is that when that'll happen?
Yeah, we'll go back tomorrow. What they do is they take and put a tee in the ground wherever they were, and they'll go back and they'll start from where they left off.
Okay, and listen, hey, one more thing before we let you go. We actually got a picture we want to show on our monitor, and this one, this came from the archives here. It's a picture of you and your team. I'm told this is 1980, and I'm not sure if you know the picture I'm talking about here. Looks like you're holding up a little hardware there. Do you know exactly what that hardware is for? And is that when it's from, 1980? That long ago?
That would have been 1980, yeah. And my God, you get a picture of me with black hair and about 50 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been, I think, the Three Rivers Conference. I won't say that for sure, but I think it was.
Well, that's if I do my math correctly, that's been 36 years ago. So you've been coaching that long. I got to ask you, how much longer are you're gonna stay at it?
Well, it's kind of funny. I called the athletic director this year in the spring and told him I was going to retire. And after about 5 minutes of talking, I talked myself back into coaching this year. I'm glad I did. But yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that this is probably my last year, but maybe not.
Never know.
Well, Coach,
I enjoy it so much that I hate to give it up.
Well, you know what? You couldn't go out in better style than winning a MAC championship, and I'm sure the Versailles faithful over there and the entire community and school systems appreciate the support you've given to the Versailles golf team over the last 36 years. And if you decide that it's time to go out, you're definitely going out in style.
Well, I sure appreciate it.
And but what a better way also to have your final season be a special guest on the Fish Report.
There you go. You're right.
All right, Coach, appreciate you coming on the show tonight. Best of luck finishing up that sectional tournament tomorrow, and hope to see you soon.
Okay, well, thank you, and thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was the head coach of the Versailles Tigers, Pete DiSalvo. And Ken, I don't know if I've done anything for 36 years, much less be a coach of a high school golf team. So.
That's impressive. 36 years. That's some great longevity there by Coach DiSalvo. And congratulations to him for that. That's just amazing.
All right, well, that's going to do it for the first half of our show. We're going to take a short break, but stay right there. When we come back, we're going to talk some football, including that big interview with our Sidney coach, Adam Doenges.
Open stage at the Leaving Van. Music starts at 8 o'clock. You can find us here every Wednesday night. It's usually the same cats every week, but I can't tell you all their names. Teacher, cat, and a junkie, all waiting for time to play. Everybody here's got something we're trying to leave behind. We're all a little broken, looking for a place to hide. Get no answers, don't ask any questions. We're all here just looking for a high. And we're all beautifully broken here tonight.
Back to the second half of Fish Report Live, and before the break we were talking a little boys golf. You know, Ken, it's always nice to get out and about and talk to some of the viewers of the Fish Report Live show. And last Friday, actually, you and I were both in Fort Laramie at their German Heritage Days, ran into a couple fans of the show. I know I got one suggestion where a fan told me I needed to provide a little bit more Fort Laramie coverage, which I thought we did a pretty good job of that to start with, but always nice to hear a little bit of feedback. And I know you ran into a viewer that had a little advice for you too.
We did, Craig. You know, it's always great going over to Redskin country. We love interviewing Fort Laramie coaches, players, and the teams over there. They got great talent, Craig, and they also got great fans. They got great viewers of the Fish Report. And like you said, you ran into one, Craig, but I ran into one also, Craig, that thinks we should put the answers to the trivia questions on our screen, and the reason is because I don't think he has any volume on his computer. So, you know, I'd really like to help you out, Bill. Honestly, and you know, Craig, we're just going to have to make a trip over there, over to Fort Laramie, and get Bill taken care of.
We need to, yeah. He, like I said, he had a good suggestion there, but if he only had some volume, it wouldn't be so much of a problem.
You know, I talked to Bill quite a bit over there. I said, Bill, man, you got to wear your Fish Report shirt. You know, give us some love, Bill. Give us some love. So, you know, I think he told me he needs another shirt. So I don't know how many we've given that guy, but he's a good fan of ours, and we appreciate the support.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Ken, well, let's move on here and talk a little football, of course, tonight. Fired up for this weekend's football games. I know that tonight's poll question had to do with football, and we like to talk about the MAC here. We like to talk about some other conferences, the CCC, and we even like to talk about the GWAC. And the GWAC right now is going to be in a tight race because all the conference battles start this weekend. Let's take a look at things and see where we're at right now, Ken.
Yeah, Craig, we love talking GWAC sports over there. Great athleticism over there. And you know, we're going to look at the football standings. You look at the GWAC North Division, Craig, every team with a winning record in that division. How impressive is that? And interleague play starts off this Thursday night, Craig. I love Thursday night high school football. I just think it's great. And we got the Piqua Indians invading Sidney's Memorial Stadium to take on Coach Doenges and the Yellow Jackets. What a great atmosphere that's going to be over there in Sidney.
Yeah, a lot of good games coming up this weekend. That Tippecanoe at Troy game is of course, interesting. 2 4-1 teams going at it there. And, of course, Coach Burbacher over there at Troy used to be at Tippecanoe, so that's going to be a fun battle. And then, like you said, Piqua at Sidney, that's a great battle too.
And he used to be at Fort Laramie, too.
Yeah, that's right. You're absolutely right. But do want to talk about that Piqua versus Sidney game, and of course tonight, here to talk about it with us live is the head coach of the Sidney Yellow Jackets, Adam Doenges. Coach, welcome to Fish Report Live, and thanks for joining us.
Evening, guys. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, your team coach kind of reminds me, I'm a big Cleveland Browns fan, and your team kind of reminds me of my Brownies right now with your top 2 quarterbacks going out so early. Fortunately, you've got a better record than the Browns. You're 3-2 instead of 0-3 right now, but you know, despite that misfortune, how did you overcome that adversity when I'm sure that most of your planning and most of your practicing all summer revolved around those top 2 quarterbacks?
Yeah, that's the thing with football. You spend 3 months, you know, preparing for this type of situation and this game plan, and this guy's going to be in this spot, and then all of a sudden one little injury kind of throws all that into a little bit of a chaos. But you know, we were able to come through it. When the first one went down with Andre Gordon, Andre's, you know, not many high school teams in America are going to replace a talented guy like him. But, you know, we were fortunate enough that when he went down, we had a senior backup quarterback, Jack Fiesel, who had 10 career starts. Started 8 games at quarterback his sophomore year and 2 his junior year. And so that wasn't that big of a blow. But then when Jack went down with the ankle injury, that one really started kind of the domino effect of moving guys to different positions and changing things around. And, all that stuff you did all summer kind of went out the window for a little bit. But, kids are pretty resilient, and we're pretty happy how they don't worry about it. They just know it's kind of the next guy in, and we still got more football games to play, and we still have goals in mind. And I've been pretty proud of our team, how we've handled it.
Yeah, and then I read about your game against West Carrollton this past weekend. You bring in your third string guy who happens to be a wideout, and he throws a touchdown pass on his first attempt. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is. We moved Dylan King. He's never really been a quarterback. He's kind of played everything in football. I think in 7th grade he might have been the center also, but he's been doing wideout for us, a little bit of defense, and we felt like he was the best guy that gave us the best chance of winning football games here on out, and so we moved him over to quarterback and started getting a crash course on how to be a quarterback and how to throw and how to take the steps and how to take the reads and all that kind of stuff that we do with our offense. And we put a lot on the quarterback in our offense, so we've had to tone things down just a little bit. But Dylan's a pretty confident guy, and it was baptism by fire right away, I guess you could say. We threw him right out there and did a little play action, and 55-yard touchdown pass later, he was baptized as a quarterback, and we're ready to go with him.
And I want to mention one more player that I read about, and that is a defensive back named Kelton Stockton. He had a big game last Friday as well. Yeah,
Kelton's been doing a nice job for us. Playing back at safety, kind of a first-year varsity player in that secondary, and we have a young secondary. Kelton's a junior playing free safety for us. We've got 2 corners. One's a true freshman, and Darren Taborn, and Josiah Hudgens, our other corner, is a sophomore, but also played last year as a freshman. So we got a young secondary, and they're starting to gel a little bit. Those guys are starting to pick some balls off for us, and they got a big challenge this week.
Coach, hi, this is Ken Francis. First of all, it's great to see all this young athletic talent coming through Sidney High School. I think you as the head coach of the football program, Coach Willoughby over there as the basketball program, you guys are just feasting on all this young talent, and I think that's just great for the entire community of Sidney.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. There was some lean years there, and with a lot of different things going on. But when I took the job over, you kind of start looking down the elementaries, and you start looking at the junior high programs, and start trying to build a connection with those kids. And a lot of these young guys were able to watch them when they were, in elementary school doing wrestling or doing basketball or playing football or playing baseball, and you start building that connection with them and that bond with them that, that way when they eventually get up to you, they have that, respect for you and want to play your sport and want to get after it and play multi-sports like we encourage kids to do over at Sidney. And it's been a very, very big blessing for us.
Coach, let's talk about your star junior running back. He's one of the best in Ohio, Isaiah Bowser. Just a little bit of his stats, first of all. He's over 1,000 yards already in just 5 games, so easy math there. He's averaging over 200 yards a game. For his career, he's got almost 2,000 yards rushing. He's got 2,400 all-purpose yards. He's got 32 touchdowns. All this in just 15 games. Amazing stats for Isaiah. Tell us what makes him so special.
You could see at an early age. I remember watching him wrestle when he was in elementary school, and then eventually took up basketball his junior high years and playing the Pee Wee football and all that kind of stuff. It's his work ethic and how he carries himself. Every day he walks to the weight room, every day he walks on the field, there's purpose to it. He's not there to mess around. He's there for a reason, and that reason is to get himself better and to make our team better. And he's definitely a special guy to be around. And his freshman year, he would have been a player for us his freshman year also, but he blew out his knee during 2 days his freshman year, and I've never seen anybody work so hard in rehab to come back determined. He missed basketball that year also, and it was just neat to see him just really, really work at it and come back hard. And played football last year, his sophomore year, after a whole year off, and started off slowly, but started to gain some speed. And it's been fun to watch him over the summer, getting him out to football camps. And Devin Rogers is another young junior that we got. Pretty talented guy. He's got a Bowling Green offer already. Isaiah's got a Cincinnati offer, and those guys are having nice seasons. And those scholarship opportunities to universities are going to continue to grow for those two.
Coach, I've got one more question for you, and I'll turn it back over to Craig. briefly, let's talk about the big game Thursday night. You got Thursday night lights, Sidney High School. What a great opportunity. I think this is a great thing that the OHSA is doing, Thursday night football. Tell us a little bit about the game, what prompted this game, and how big this rivalry is between the Yellow Jackets and the Indians.
Yeah, it's nice that we've been able to get that Thursday night, or get a station to do that in this part of the state. And I think it's been going on a little bit in other parts of the state. But, James Ryder from Fox 45 does a nice job of covering a lot of the northern sports in the northern Miami Valley. And sometimes we're up here in kind of the middle of no man's land. We might get left out from here and there, but he does a nice job. And, he contacted me over the summer, and, to be honest, he said we were the first one that he wanted to contact when they were going to do this with Fox 45. He checked out a schedule, went through all the weeks, the matchups from 1 through 10, and circled the Sidney Pickwood game as one that he wanted to get. And he was the first person that he contacted, and we were pretty honored about that. And some of the guys are hurt in this matchup. Pickwood's got a Michigan State commit that's out for the year. Our Andre Gordon's out for the year. So some of the star power that might have been there, back in the summer when these decisions were made, aren't there, but it's still the Pickwood-Sidney rival. It's still our homecoming. It's still Thursday night football. So it's going to be a neat opportunity, and we're very fortunate and very happy that they were able to pick us.
Coach, just a couple seconds left here, but I didn't want to let you go without asking you about I'm told a special plaque that hangs outside the visitors' locker room over there at Sidney Memorial Stadium. Can you? It's got a bunch of coaches' names on it, I believe. Can you tell me what that's all about?
Yeah, Dave Ross, local, Sidney and Shelby County historian, sports historian, does a lot of good things around our stadium that makes our place just little special touches here and there. And we've got some nice plaques throughout the place. But this year he added one on the away locker room. On the away locker room of just some of the big time coaches that Sidney or Sidney Lehman have faced in the last 100 years, and guys from the Bill Fountain community and the Pickwood community and the Troy community that were coaches there at those respective schools for 15, 20 years. Some local names, Al Hetrick's on there because he got to play Lehman. And not necessarily, maybe not at Sidney Memorial Stadium, but at the old field downtown. Coach Nolan from Troy's on there. He got to play against Sidney and Lehman. And they added Coach Neese on there this year. Coach Neese from Pickwood's been there for a long time. Been a part of that rivalry, so it's been kind of neat. Coach Skip Bachman, I'm originally from St. Mary's graduate. Skip Bachman's on there from the St. Mary's playing days, so it's kind of neat. Another little touch that make our stadium just a little bit more, in my opinion, more special than anybody else's.
Coach, listen, I've been to the stadium before. You guys got a lot to be proud of over there at Sidney. It's great to see the Yellow Jackets improving year after year under your leadership. And we appreciate you being on our show tonight and wish you the best of luck. And we're really interested and excited to watch that big football game against the Indians on Thursday Night Football.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, that was the head coach of the Sidney Yellow Jackets, Adam Doenges, and do want to say special thanks to those pictures you saw on the monitor there from a guy by the name of Mike Douglas, a photographer over there in Sidney, was gracious enough to let us use those on tonight's interview. And Ken, that game actually, for those that won't be going to Sidney, is actually going to be televised not on Fox 45 but their HD channel, right?
Yes, it is, Craig. Fox 45's HD channel is 45.2. It will be viewable right here in Shelby County, whether you have NTA Telco or Time Warner. Also available on Time Warner Channel 995. So for all you viewers out there, tune in. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch two local teams going at it live on television. It's going to be pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. Let's. I want to go back to the sound room here before we close the show tonight and check in with the guys back there. And guys, real quick, we've been hearing a lot of national controversy about the national anthem and guys kneeling, guys standing, and without getting into a big argument about all that, I know that Fort Laramie's doing something kind of neat this weekend, and TK, I believe you got a report on that, don't you?
Yes, I do, Craig. Thanks. They'll have this week is their first annual, so looks like they're going to make this an annual thing and try and promote it even more. So the first annual Military Appreciation Night as Fort Laramie takes on Waynefield Goshen this Friday the 30th. So how they're going to work that, each team member gets to pick an honorary guest, a member of the either current member or former member of the military, parent, somebody in the family or friend. They will join them on the field, be introduced before the game, be out there for the national anthem as well. They will recognize anyone else in the stadium or in the audience that is or has served in the military for the national anthem. So a nice thing they're doing over there at Fort Laramie, and looks like they're going to try and make that a permanent item throughout the years to come. So good job for those guys over there. Nice recognition. And that game does start at 7 p.m. this Friday night.
Very cool. Very cool.
That's good stuff.
All right, one more thing to get to, and that is that poll question. Again, we don't have it to show on our monitor, but Ken, why don't you read it again to the viewers out there?
Craig, which high school football game this week will be the most exciting football game to watch in the area? Will it be the Sidney-Piqua rivalry, the Versailles-Fort Laramie MAC battle, the Minster versus St. Henry MAC battle, or will it be Lehman versus Riverside? Which of those 4 games will be the most exciting to watch per our viewers out there? TK, Ross, back here, the telemetrics, what does it have to say?
We got Sidney-Piqua, it's 81%, and Versailles versus Fort Recovery, we got 12%, and Minster versus St. Henry, we got 6%.
Well, you know what, sound room guys, I'd have to agree with the telemetrics back here. I'm really looking forward to that Sidney-Piqua game. It's always a great rivalry. But, you know, just to top it off, Thursday night football, it's going to be pretty special.
Now, I know Ross back there voted. He votes every week. I got to ask you, Ross, who'd you vote for?
Sidney versus Piqua.
All right.
He was part of the overwhelming majority. All right, great stuff, guys, and thanks for that. That's going to wrap it up for us tonight. I do want to say special thanks to our guests tonight, Coach DiSalvo and Coach Doenges, for joining us. Ken and I and the crew will all be back again next week, same time, same place. Until then, have a great rest of the week, and good night, everyone.
Hanging at the fish report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pole. When you tune in to the fish report, hanging at the fish